Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here in one more presentation. I'm host today in the Sophia room. So, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. So, I'm here with Jay, who is a staff engineer at IBM India Software Lab. Hello, Jay. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Okay, thank you to be here first. I'm glad to be your host. And today you will talk about heads-on ethical hacking for curious, right?
Right.
But before you start, please tell us what you do in your free time. So you're what you're doing to relax in this pandemic situation.
I didn't get a free time because I have a toddler and I keep running behind him and walk him. And we are having a fun time, even though it's pandemic, even though it's difficult with family, it's still good here. So far, so good.
Okay. Thank you, Jay, to share with us some tips. And this stage is yours. So go ahead.
Thank you. How many other times I do the talks, I'm still nervous, and that's what I'm like right now. But let me get started. As Ottavio just told, my topic today is on ethical hacking. I am Jayashree. I'm from IBM India Software Labs. I'm an IBM Java's classes library developer. Apart from working on Java SDKs, my interests are in disclosures and patenting. I help IBM to build its patent portfolio. I'm an evaluator with our invention development team. So my agenda today is going to be completely on what, why, and how we go about this ethical hacking, the four main types of hacking that are out there, and so on. So let me just get started. Oh yeah, before I go into this, let me give a brief of the why. We as a software engineer, it becomes our duty and responsibility to keep ourselves safe from all the security threats or the cyber crimes that are out there. Not just us, it also becomes our responsibility towards our customers for whom we are making the project. There are a various number of ways in which the flaws in our code could be used by the malicious guys outside. They could and all of these vulnerabilities are just there out there, and they'll make use of it, and the harm is to us. That is where we have to be aware of what is out there, what security or what vulnerabilities are out there. OWASP is one of the open source project which community includes large companies, various kind of organizations, or any individual around the globe. These individuals come together to uh, write articles, make tools, and give any form of information about the vulnerabilities out there in the internet. And they keep doing this every single time. And one of their famous projects is the top 10. Each year they put up a list of what kind of vulnerabilities are out there, which the bad guys are making use of and trying to harm you. So these are the top 10. You could always go look into their website just to be aware that what each one of these are, if it's an injection or an SQL injection or a cross-site scripting, what they mean to you as a developer, what they mean to you in your code base. So these kind of details you can do. One is OWASP, and the next one is the common vulnerability exposure, the CVE numbers, which you would anyways know. So this is a publicly disclosed flaw in your software. Every time you find it, you immediately come and update it in the CVE. It also acts for any person who's making use of your software to be aware that such kind of vulnerability is open for exposure, how they can safeguard themselves. Eh, that is why this list is on. Yes. So yeah, the what part I kept talking about it. So the what is ethical hacking or what is hacking is nothing but gaining unauthorized access into any system. You do something that you're not supposed to do. So the main type of hackers that are three main type of hackers that are there are the black hat hackers, who are the bad guys. They do not have permission to the system. they hack or they gain access into your system to try to harm you, to steal your information, and do all the bad things. Then there is the gray hat hackers who still do not have permissions, but they hack into your system not to steal or harm. Their lines is kind of pretty much on the grayish areas, and so they are. And then there is the white hat hackers, which will be us, I'm hoping, who have permission to hack into any system. They do it because we want to test against our system. We want to see if we are good enough for to stand the breach that comes from outside. Apart from these three types, as of in 2021, we have more than 10 types like red hat hackers, green hat, blue hat. There are nation funded hackers or the hacktivists, or even the newbies like script kiddies. There are different types. All of these hackers are classified mainly based on their intent. The intent defines what this hacking will end or tend towards. Then why would you learn ethical hacking? It's because it was claimed that even he got tricked. So could you, me, and everyone. As of today, some of the statistics are because of the COVID time and lot of work from homes and we not being in that complete secure network. FBI has found that we have seen almost 300% increase in security breaches and security crimes. And one more statistic is every single day, more than 30,000 new websites are getting hacked. Just because of this COVID case, US has lost around 137,000 US dollars, where because of the data breaches, each for every second there is more than 37 hacking activities going on where they steal your data, they try to harm you, they try to make use of your resources, and a lot of things. This is exactly why we need to know about it. And not just that, hacking ethical hacking is an existing industry. There are lots and lots of job opportunities with high paying salaries, huge bug bounty programs. It is said that almost 54% of people companies say it's very difficult for them to fill the security related side jobs. So it becomes you as a software engineer is already aware of what to do. We are more capable to start looking into this. We just need to keep track on all of these things, and then we will be able to start protecting ourselves. So like I said in the abstract, forewarned is definitely pre-armed. That is why you should start learning about this. Yes, now that you decided, yes, I do want to know, I do want to learn or start my pen testing, then how would I start? You would require a lab to do it. You could go around having a complete setup that you could make, where you have a hacking machine, certain machines to be hacked, the websites and the network. Or you could do all of this in your system itself using VirtualBox. That's exactly what I also did. At my VirtualBox, I have three machines. One is the Kali Linux. This is a regular, like a regular Linux distribution. It's just that it comes with a preloaded tools for that is required for pen testing or hacking. You don't have to go get into a Linux distribution, start downloading these tools. Kali Linux comes with all of these within. I then have in two machines which we will be hacking, or I'll be hacking in across this presentation. One is on Windows OS and another is on Metasploitable OS. Metasploitable OS is again a virtual Linux distribution, but it's intentionally made vulnerable. It has all of the major vulnerabilities, computer flaws which are out there in the system. Everything is present in Metasploitable OS. So we'll be looking at that. Then inside my virtual box, these three machines are connected using a NAT1 network, and they assume this virtual network. I mean, this network is like an Ethernet network, which we would have replicated in the natural outside scenario. And my host machine has acts as a router or a server, which then has connection to the internet. There are four main types of hacking. I will get started on the network hacking. Instead, like all of us know, in a network, more than I mean, many devices like client are connected together to be able to share the data and resources. By resources, it could be the internet, and anytime, any within your home network, there is also a device which is an access point or the router or server, you could call. In your home network, it will be your router. The clients, when they want to directly deal with the internet, it is always through the server is what they go towards the outer internet. Without the server, they don't have a direct connection to the internet. So within a network, if I type google.com in my laptop now, it will first go send this request to my router, and the router will take it to the internet. When it gets the response from the internet, it'll come and give it back to me, and my page gets loaded. So all of this data happens by a small packet of data. Small data packets between the client and the server. And every data packet has the unique, it always has the client source and destination addresses. And this address will be the MAC address. MAC address is nothing but an unique physical address which allows any of network interface, which allows a device to connect to the network. So on these, like I was telling, so even before any hacker is come and connected into your network, I'm saying this is the pre-connection attacks. What all could happen is, I said the MAC address is a permanent unique address. But if by using just a small command ifconfig, you will be able to change this particular permanent address. Like here, I just put my eth0 down, and I go and give it a new MAC address, say 0011223355. And now when I bring my Ethernet connection up again, when I bring it up again, I see the MAC address has changed. Why would I do that? It's to make myself anonymous, or to bypass filter, or to impersonate someone else. When I talk about the man in the middle attack, I'll tell you how the MAC address changing will lead for a normal client, to believe a malicious attacker is his router. So that was one tool. The next tool. So I said, as the packets are in a Wi-Fi network, these packets that are being transferred between the client and the server happens over air. And if you have an extra wireless adapter, you will be able to, and if you're within the range, you'll be able to sniff all the data. If it is not encrypted properly, you'll still be able to capture all of the packets that are going through and fro. So for that, imagine I do buy a wireless adapter for as small as $25. You will get one. I've connected it into my system. I use a command called iwconfig to see what all I have, what all network interfaces I have. Then I see that my wireless network right now, it is in managed mode. I can make it into monitor mode, so that I'll be able to sniff. I make use of a tool called Aircrack NG. Again, all of these tools are part of the, it is already installed in Kali Linux. These are used for both pen testing and for hacking as well. So Aircrack NG, and I'll start my wireless network. It will automatically get started. Now it is in monitoring mode. Once that now I'm in monitoring mode, you will be able to see that whenever you click on your Wi-Fi option, it's not just your network. Any network which is around you, you'll be able to see it. And now, since I have a wireless adapter right now, and then I will be able to start sniffing packets of the networks that are around and surround me. I use a tool called Aircrack NG, and I give my wireless adapter's name. That is all I do. I simply just use the tool, and then the sniffing actually starts. You'll be able to see in the screen that all the surrounding networks in my range are there. I got the informations like their MAC address, the encryptions on which these routers are set, and their names and all the other details, the beacon strength in the channel, and these kind of details. If I want to start a targeted sniffing of one particular network, say I will do it for test track, I copy the MAC address from here. All I do is I call my Aerodump NG tool. I give the MAC address, the channel, and I give a file to write. That's it. I will be getting a test01.cap file which has details of all the packets that were being sent across or by the router within itself. I will be able to see what all systems were connected to this particular router. I'm able to see that test track is my regular network. So I'm able to see that my laptop, my cell phone, or these packets, these cap files, if I use a normal network analysis tool like Wireshark, I'll be able to know if the if it's an iPhone, if it's a laptop, and that kind of details all will be we will be able to gather and gain in this network packages. So this is what I will be doing. Yeah. Then in while I'm sniffing the data, I'll be able to know in which encryption the routers are encrypted. If it is a WEP encryption, nowadays no one uses it, but just in case, if it was a WEP encryption, just by sniffing and analyzing the packets, I'll be able to get your router's Wi-Fi and password, and I will get connected into your network. Once I've gotten connected, gained access into your network, most of the things become easier for me. But before that, but like I said, nowadays everyone does, all the routers are configured to use WPA2 encryption, which is stronger. But even on that, I will still be able to find your password. How I would do that is, let's come to the password cracking tool in some time. But just by sniffing the packets, I won't be able to find it. That is where the bad guys will start using something called as, if I'm able to get the WPA handshake package from you, then I will be able to identify your password. In order for me to get that, I make use of a tool called Aircrack NG. It is nothing but it's just a de-authentication network. I just go and give a replay NG on your router, me who's outside your network, give it on your router, and your router, you'll be disconnected from the internet. And when I stop the attack on your router, when you do connect back to the internet, that's when you generate a WPA handshake packet. I will be able to sniff that as well. I will sniff it using Aerodump NG. When I get this package, then it becomes easier for me, if I'm a bad guy, to crack your password. Moving on. So far, we were telling about pre-connection. Now, to gain access or gaining access into your network, what I said was, I will have to crack your password and get into your network. If it was WEP, the tool that we use here is Aircrack NG. It analyzes the captured packets just to get the password. We remembered that when I do Aerodump, I get a .cap file. I simply pass it to my Aircrack NG. I'll be able to get in if it is a WEP encryption. But if it is WPA or WPA2 encryption, I'm also capturing the handshake packets. So to the Aircrack NG, I give the handshake packets, and I also give it a word list. This word list could be created using a tool called Crunch, or outside online there are lots of tools which will get you a set of word list. You can give it the minimum number of password character, the maximum number it could be, if it needs characters only, or if it's a numeric, or you could give all these patterns, and these tools will generate these kind of passwords for you, or various combination of passwords, which when you give to the Aircrack NG, it will make a match between using the handshake cap that we packets that we have found, it'll start making a match, and Aircrack NG will be able to identify that. That's exactly what happened. Using my wireless adapter separately, I was able to crack into my home network, which was test track 2G. I passed it a word list, and it was able to crack it for me. So we are still not safe, is what I tried to say. The more you increase the characters for your password, the more safer you do are. Let me go ahead. So I was talking about the man in the middle attack, which all of us know. Mainly what happens is a hacker comes and sits in a network where he fools the client saying you are the server, and he fools the server saying you are the client. He will be, by doing that, he will be able to see all the requests. Now that he's gained access, he's within your network. We are come inside. So then he'll be able to see the packets that are flowing from one client to client to the router. How he does that? Let's see. There is something called as ARP request. If a client wants to connect or contact within a network, it will say, it just has an IP address. It will say who has this particular IP. Then whoever has that IP will respond to the client with their MAC address. That will be the ARP response. If it's client C, if it's the device C, it will say it is me who's having this IP. Here is my MAC address, so that they can establish a connection or they can start a communication. This is exactly in a typical network. If the hacker is not there, imagine I'm just an hacker, one of the devices in your network. I'll just be sitting. Once I do an ARP spoofing, what I end up doing is, like what I said, the client and the network, I'm actually taking the MAC address. I'm spoofing by there are two ways of two duplex or two types, where I first fool the client saying I am the server. That is one. And the other would be saying the router or the server that I am the client. So this is ARP spoofing. In order to do ARP spoofing, we make use of tools. Okay. That let me come to that after we gain access, what we do. So that was yeah. Then other things was like in for you to be successful in doing anything after gaining access, you need to gather a lot of informations. It becomes very crucial. It gives you a lot of details about the target system, their operating systems, the softwares and the services installed, and all these details. You make use of tools like NetDiscover, ZenMap, and NetShow. You just give either the IP address. It'll immediately, once you're in this network, you'll know the IP address range within your for all the devices, and you give this IP address in NetDiscover. It'll be able to tell what are the ports exposed, what are the softwares installed, and all these kind of details you'll be able to gather. That is exactly what these guys do. They gather and keep all these details. I was saying, to do ARP spoofing, we have a tool that is you have your post attacks. So that basic tool, a basic ARP spoofing tool is ARP spoof. You simply, like I said, the one way you do it to the client, the other way you do it to the router, and you do it. Otherwise, there is also a tool called Buttercap. It's a complete framework where you don't have to separately spoof. Once you give the details into Buttercap, it will automatically go and do the complete full duplex of spoofing the client and the network. In this way, what happens is, when the client thinks the malicious hacker is the router, he will directly say, I have a request to this particular website. So and so is my password, my user credentials. He'll pass all of these to the server and to the hacker. The hacker will then take it to the client, and any response the server is getting, the hacker will be able to see everything here. So I said basic spoofing. We are like we are gonna use a command ARPA. You'll be able to see that initially for that IP it was a different MAC address, but then I use my tool and I go ahead and change it. In fact, that's exactly what I'm showing here. Yeah, my Windows machine, which had it is not, sorry, I'm sorry, it's not very clear here. So I went and ran Buttercup for the IP address, for the Windows machine IP address. Now that I'm in the network, I know the IP address of the Windows system, which I will be hacking. I gave it. This happened. Once that is done, oh yeah, I have the tool here. So before ARP spoofing, it had its own MAC. Now after spoofing, it has the address of the hacker, which is my Kali Linux machine from where I'm hacking. Yeah. Once that is done, like I said, because any request, any packet of data that is traveling from the client and the server will have to go through me, the hacked person. It becomes very simple for me to see the username and the password, the websites that you're logging into, and all these data. It becomes as simple as that. If this is where we say, if you don't use the encrypted way of sending password, I'll be able to clearly see everything that's happening. So this is where there are certain prevention methods that you can, detection and prevention methods that you could do. For this part, I'm just gonna complete the prevention method for the network hacking part, where no one is using, but still, please never make use of WEP encryption. Always make use of the even on WPA2 encryption uses complex password. If you think I'll just give a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, if it's just going to be that, I tell you, in less than, not even by the time you blink your eyes, that password would have been hacked or cracked multiple times. And similarly, you would have listened, you would have heard that it's better to always give a larger character password. That's because say, for example, if you give all characters, like all small digit alphabets, seven alphabets characters, it'll only take the hacker to hack it, say, less than 5 hours, and not even 5 hours, 5 minutes, sorry, and 8 digits, 5 hours, and 9 digits. It keeps increasing. The more complex you make your password, the more complex or more time it will take for the hacker to even find your password and then get into your network or start snooping into you. Then one more thing is, please make sure you configure your wireless setup. Always keep it to the maximum setting and never leave it to default setting, because you go into the internet and give your router details, all the default setting is out there, so anyone will be able to get into your network and start doing the sniffing. Then ARP poisoning, there is a tool called XARP. Use it. Now that I said that, if your traffic is not encrypted, if you use a HTTP website, and if I'm already a man in the middle, and I'll be able to see your password and your username and password along with your website, and I'll be able to do anything. But if you start using HTTPS website, then it is, your passwords is encrypted. Even when it's traveling from the client to the router, technically it gets encrypted. I will not be able to see. If you go and use HTTPS, what the hackers are still doing is, they give you back a HTTP website. They are downgrading your website and they give you a non-secure website again, and you'll still be fooled. So there is something else called as HSTS HSTS type protocol as well, where it makes your web browser aware. Most of the famous websites nowadays, like Twitter, Facebook, and all these guys, they tell that we cannot be downgraded from HTTPS. That's exactly what it says. It just has a flag in the web browser which says, these websites, if at all you're trying to access it, they can never be accessed in a less secure way. Those kind of things are also available. So start making use of them. Yes, I think, I'm taking more time. Let's go. So far we were talking about any hacking that was happening within your network. Now if you're on the internet and outside network, if you want to gain access into a system which is somewhere else, you are in India, you want to gain access to a system in US, you could still be able to do that. Like the same concepts holds here as well. I have to gain access into your system. For that, I gather lots and lots of information. I will be able to, just by keeping your IP address, I will still be able to gain access into your system. Most of the times, how that will happen is, one is on the server side, without any user intervention. If I have your IP address, I'll go and put it into Net Discover, and I'll try to see what all um, ports you have opened or what all softwares you have installed. If in your softwares is there any vulnerability present, all of these details, believe me, it's existing in abundant out there in the internet. If I know you're using a FTP software in your system, or SSH software, or any such softwares, I'll be able to go check the internet to see if there are any existing vulnerabilities, and also be able to check how I can make use of that vulnerabilities. So this is on the server side. There's a tool called Metasploit. It's a ready-made tool to run these particular vulnerabilities. If you just put the software and if you say vulnerability, the first thing that you'll get is the Metasploit commands. You take the command and you run it in your system. I, as a hacker, if I take the command and run it in my system, I'll be able to gain, or I'll be able to gauge how to get backdoor or get access into your system. That was one way. So here is exactly like how I was telling so far. I put your IP address there. I'll be able to see on which port what is running MySQL, FTP, and I'll go and check. And you'll also see that what your kernel is, what your MAC address is. All these kind of details I'm already getting. So I'll simply need to Google to see any vulnerability. I'll add it, and I will be able to get into your system. It's not as simple as that, but it is kind of simple. The things that I was talking about in the internet, I just go and say, what do you have for SFTP? And it gives me the exploit that I can actually use, using which I'll be able to get a backdoor into your system. I use that exploit from Kali Linux machine. I use the exploit and I have access into your system. Anyways, let me go. The one more way of gathering gaining access into your system is client side. It has to do on the client. If a user is if he goes and opens some malicious email or clicks on a link, that is where I would have coded my backdoor into the link, and one click from you is all I need to come download myself into your system, try to spoof your network saying I'm something else. I could be a PDF file. On top, you will be able to see that I'm a PDF file, but inside I will be a .exe malicious code running. I will be able to change the process names to mimic a valid process being run into your system and everything. And for this, we make use of a tool called Whale Framework. It helps in creating backdoors. Yes, using Whale Framework, people keep trying to create a lot and lot of backdoors by backdoors. If you click on them, I have access to your system. That is what we mean by backdoor. But most of the email servers are equipped with finding these payloads. They are capable enough to check if they hold any malicious content, and they don't even let you send you these malicious email. But like I said, whale evasion, and I can still go ahead. And when I started the into ethical hacking and reading about Whale Framework, I did create a small payload. I was trying to send it into my Windows machine. Initially, whatever I created did go through, but within 3 days time, I was not able to send the same payload in. By payload, I just mean by trying to make my backdoor in different ways. I still had various ways. I was able to make 7 payloads which I could still successfully send. even crossing the mail service vigilante. So yeah, you have the tools, you will be able to do it. And our hackers, the most that they have is the time and the money. So yeah, let me continue. There is one more thing on gaining information, which is social engineering. If I know in Twitter you have added your phone number, your email ID, and everything, I can use a tool called Mailtiago. I can start you as a person. I can get the information of everywhere that you're going, any information that is out there in the internet, which is available to the public eye. I'll be able to make a graph of everything. I'll be able to gauge what you're doing. And if I know you as a person is going to attend JNations or any conference, I will be able to try to spoof you by telling I am from JNation. I'll be able to send you an email. You might think it is coming from JNation, but ultimately I would have, like I said, even though I'm sending you a picture, which will be JPEG, but inside I would have coded a exe file, which as soon as you click on it, will create a backdoor into your system. When I have backdoor, I'll be able to see everything that's happening in your system. Yeah. So by Mailtiago, I'll find you. I'll know what you're doing, or your activities, web activities. I'll be able to know. Then I'll try to send you a mail. There are using a tool called Send Email. This tool will. It's a very simple command. I'll be able to spoof, like when I said I'll send a mail as if I'm JNation. There are many SMTP servers available. They are mainly used for marketing purposes, but if you're just gonna try to spoof hardly 10 people, you could use a free SMTP server. All you need to do is add a change. I mean, using this command, you will still be able to send me as a hacker will be able to send you the mail, and you will not on a higher level. You will not be able to find that it's not from the genuine user. You can still be tricked, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So far, I was talking about gaining access. Once I have gained access in this, imagine I have sent my malicious code into an email from JNation. You just go and click, you see what is there. You're downloading the JPEG file. You're downloading the picture, but inside my code is already running. Once my backdoor is established, this is exactly what will happen. I went into my Kali machine. I actually here I used my Metasploitable OS to sorry. I still am using my Windows OS to hack. In my Windows OS machine, I clicked on the malicious code, and I have a reverse HTTP backdoor open. By that, what I mean is I use a framework again, Metasploit, and then that tool I try to get your system information from my hacking machine. I have the information of your system because I'm already by backdoor. It's nothing but I have complete access or most of the access into your system. I'm there, and when I can start looking for key scan start, I will snoop in. I'll be able to get your webcam started. Everything is with these simple commands, simple tools. Like I'm just going to tell exploit on you, and then I say key scan start. Whenever even though I'm going to make use of an HSTS website or a highly secure encrypted website, now that I'm scanning your key scans, I will be able to tell what exactly you have typed. I'll be able to find your password, username, and everything. This is post exploitation. Now that I've gained access, I've come inside. That's why it's very important that you try to avoid, try to not get into a situation where you allow malicious codes to have access or have backdoors into your system. Not just that, I'll be able to use your system. You can say there is nothing to steal in my system, but a hacker will be able to use your system resources to be doing some other malicious things. They need a lot of resources they already have, but they also will be able to make use of you and your system to do their bad works. So how would you be preventing it? It's by not downloading outside any trusted place, because while it's easier to get the backdoor back along with you when sorry, it's easier while you download from the not trusted sites. Using a VPN is always recommended, but I don't think we will all be able to use it, so that's still fine. Then it's a must, and uh, it's very good practice to keep all your softwares updated. Any CVEs that we flag out for the software, it'll come as the software products do fix it in their security updates, and they keep trying to push security updates. If you don't take them, you're still open for the vulnerabilities. So that's why it's good to keep your softwares updated, avoid clicking on links, and try to check the type of the files once you have downloaded. Even though the file name shows something else, try to give it a hash value. There are tools out available which will help you to see if the file is the file that it is claiming to be. You can do all of those things. So yeah, in conclusion, what I wanted to say was, be cyber smart, be aware what all could happen. Never think no one will come or hack you, because like I was saying, you could just be thinking that it's a person that you know who sent the mail, but it could be a hacker sitting behind. Yeah, with that, I actually end my topic. I'm open for questions now. I'm sorry I didn't take any of the questions so far. Now maybe I'll start taking if.
Don't worry, Jay. There's time to answer those questions. So if you have any question right now, please let us know. We are on YouTube. We are also in the Slack channel. Please join us in the Sophia room. Okay. That was an amazing presentation. I learned a lot.
Thank you.
Again, thank you, Jay. Let's see if there's questions. Mm, give once, give twice. Oh, if they don't, I do a lot of questions. So I can use your
Sure.
time.
Sure.
First, how can I take these slides? Do you mind if you share with us?
Definitely. Where can I share it with you?
Yes, please use the chat and then I can put on the Slack channel.
Yeah, I'll do that. In the Slack channel,
Okay.
I did become part of your. Maybe I'll put it in the Sophia.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'll do that.
That's the right place.
Good.
Okay. If there's no question, thank you, Jay, again. Hope to see you soon, finally physically. And we'll take a break and then we'll return at 1 p.m.
Thank you. Bye. Stay safe,
Bye.
everyone.